Okie dokie, here we are. I am joined once again with one of my best friends, Jeffrey Kennedy, my man.
It's my dog.
Yeah, thank you for pulling up. And yeah, you hit me up about wanting to really riff on some interesting topics. So I want to give you the floor to talk about kind of where you're at in your life, the big things that you have happening for yourself. And yeah, Jeff, what's going on for you?
Yeah, sick. Right now, I'm in the full sprint mode in snowboard season, ski season right now. So I've just been working a ton, been able to teach some returning clients that I've had in the past. So that's really, really cool. Been building a little bit of a business endeavor. Not even a little bit of a business endeavor, just been building a business endeavor.
So you're a snowboard coach,
yeah,
just for context.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a snowboard coach. I'm a personal trainer. And really, my big mission is to try and inspire people through movement, particularly movement in the mountains. So right now, I've been offering early access to a few clients I've taught in the past, a 12-week transformation program where, you're getting access to quite literally sport-specific programming for all 12 weeks of your sport-specific diet, nutrition, and as well as identity forging routines and identity forging self-talks to engage in, and just combining all of that into one package and selling it to some real serious mountain athletes.
Yeah. So here in Colorado, obviously the Rocky Mountains are easily accessible, and people like Jeff and I and other savages, or just normal ass people, go up in the mountains and do, semi-crazy shit, either on snowboards, skis, or just running filthy distances.
Or sometimes both, bro.
Yeah.
Running filthy distances with the snowboards and skis.
Exactly, bro. It doesn't stop. And there's a reason for that. There's like this sort of cross-pollination of so many different parts of life, which is, like you pointed to, the physical element, the physical component of moving your body from the scientific lens, releasing endorphins, moving energy, which I think is huge for things like anxiety, depressions. Like, move that shit and see what happens. And then also surrounding ourselves with unbelievably beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
And the presences that, for me, I feel in the mountains. I feel in the woods. I feel at the lakes. I feel when I'm on top of those peaks. Like, there's something out there that speaks to us. And I think that has such a profound impact on the quality of our lives. So then interweaving both of those things, where we're, from my lens, looking at you and what you're doing, trying to get people to push their bodies physically in order to access these crazy states in the mountains, like backcountry snowboarding or trail running or whatever it might be for somebody, to be able to access those, or really unlock that beauty of putting yourself in those rugged, raw scenarios and having the training necessary to thrive in that. So I also heard something you said about like self-identity talk, something like that. I'm curious what that's about. And also, did I get your vision like accurately displayed? Like, is that what you're trying to do?
100%. So my philosophy behind it, it's that it's not that people lack potential, whether that's athletic potential, discipline potential. It's that they lack a structure and a consistent framework mentally to place over these challenges of becoming an athlete in the uphill, downhill mountain space. And with that, I feel like the mountain sports in particular, there's always a layer of endurance. There's always a layer of suffering, more so than hitting the gym. Because I feel like the gym can be kind of one of those cush things. Like, I'll sip my water, I'll listen to my music, rest for a few minutes.
Depends how hard you hit it, though.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But in the mountains, it's a lot more sustained. As far as these states of suffering that you're in.
And like, you can die.
Yeah, and you can die. And 100%.
Facts.
That's facts.
I mean, you could die in the gym, but let's just say avalanches, rock slides, falling, animals, just being out and alone, or not surrounded by people, or like 20 miles from a road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to be really self-reliant. That's like another just factor. That's another kind of just pressure not to fuck up.
Yeah.
Make sure you got yourself out there
100%.
or else.
And then think too, right? Like, if it goes to a backcountry line or somebody in some sort of 14er, if conditions are perfect all day, you know, and the one limiting factor you have to riding a sick line or climbing a sick mountain is you feel like you can't rely on your body's physicality enough.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks because you have everything in alignment for you, you know, and there's dream lines, there's bucket list lines, bucket list mountains that people have hit. My friend Hannah guides people up Mount Rainier all summer.
Right.
And she's like, dude, there's people that pay so much, like thousands of dollars of money to come climb with me. And they get there and they're too out of shape to climb it. Cool. Once in a lifetime experience, off the books because you're fat.
And that's the thing. So what you're pointing to, these experiences in the mountains, and I've had these, they're like peak life experiences. Straight up. Like legitimately.
That's not an understatement.
You're pushing your body to its absolute brink with the backdrop of some of the most beautiful shit you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like peak life experience. You know what I mean? Plus you're pumping with endorphins, adrenaline.
Yep.
It's like nothing else. And I heard you speak to the kind of physical regime that you have to really put yourself through. And I thought of this notion of discipline, of not just physical discipline, but obviously mental discipline.
Yep.
And it's holding yourself accountable to be like, yeah, I want to hit this shit. But it's not just about, you know, for instance, paying the guide to take you up Rainier. Like you got to actually want it. You got to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You got to wake up earlier than you might want some days. You got to push it to be able to hit those peak life experiences.
Yeah.
And so in your mind, in your frame, what is really discipline and the cultivation of discipline?
Yeah, 100%. I think discipline is the highest form of self-love that you can offer yourself.
Facts.
Because discipline, I feel like, is looked upon as almost not necessarily this negative thing, but this opportunity cost. I'm sacrificing X, Y, and Z so that I can be disciplined. And that, I think, is really constricting. It's this idea of you're giving something up for something later down the line, you know, delayed gratification. But I see discipline being the way to give yourself ultimate freedom, because when you know you're disciplined and you know that regardless of how you're feeling, whether you're feeling really, really good or you're feeling really, really bad, your output is always going to be the exact same. That consistent output, as far as, you know, how you choose to contribute to your experience.
Yeah. So, I mean, the outcome or the output, I mean, obviously it'll differ, but the effort, right? The showing up, even when you don't want to do something. Like for me, like working on this fucking brand, which seems to be like an infinite task. Yeah. There's no end to this framework that I'm constructing. And I'm like, yeah, would I rather have gone snowboarding with you today, for instance? Yeah, obviously. But well, actually, it's interesting. It's like the discipline to force me to work on this brand, which is my passion and a big part of my purpose, which we'll talk about more in depth, I'm sure. It's like having that discipline actually, yes, I would rather be snowboarding, but also there's like a pleasure in just posting up and being like, fuck yeah, I'm doing this thing that I have to do. I'm doing this thing that if I don't do it, I'm gonna naturally beat myself up. Be like, dog, what are you doing? Yeah. And I think in this culture that we live in, so many people push away that sort of self-critical part of us, because I think a lot of people are oppressed by what we could call the inner critic. But for me, having found some freedom from that inner critic, now I see that as actually like a blessing. Yeah. When that part of me can be like, dog, don't you want to be better? Don't you want to make your dreams a reality? What the fuck are you doing snowboarding? You got work to do. And that part of me where I'm like, yeah, facts, actually. Facts. Yeah. And then it's like, dude, I like that. I like that. And we have this sort of conditioned belief in a lot of spiritual or psychological spheres that says, oh, we got to get rid of that voice. We don't want something to haunt us. We don't want these voices to say you could do better. And often we frame it as that inner critic, which is one way to frame it. But I think it's limited if that's the only way that we can relate to these voices, these feelings in our body that are pushing us. Yeah. Because it's not only bad, you know, there's a beauty in that.
Yeah. And this, as cliche of a word, I feel like this is in the spiritual world, that's real alignment when your discipline actually doesn't feel like discipline anymore. Yeah. You know, when you're doing something, you said it, you're like, oh, I have to work on my brand. No, dog, you get to work on your brand.
Facts.
You know how many people would like kill to have the opportunity to have the burden of carrying out their dreams? You know how many people would kill for that shit?
Dude,
You don't have to do anything, bro, but you get to do everything. And here's the kicker. When you look back and everything that you've built has been from you, from your mind and what you want to build, you do that back to back to back, day in, day out. You're disciplined with it. After a while, you look back and you're like, whoa, this is the life that I've built. It's actually sick as fuck. And it's what I want to do. And I did that shit.
Bro.
Nobody else did
bro.
that except for me,
Bro.
for me.
Exactly, dude. And I've thought about this. So cranking on this brand and the amount of effort, not just like work, but my brain. Like, how do I take these ideas and reduce them to the most digestible form where they'll make an impact on somebody, especially people that don't have any sort of exposure to things like Buddhism? How do I reduce these huge, profound concepts in a digestible way? So it's a lot of work, and it's taken me hours where I'll post up and spend 5 hours just researching, and nothing really gets done. It reminds me of grad school, where it's like kind of like that in some projects, like my master's thesis. But that feeling of being, again, gifted with this task, and I really do view it as a gift.
Yeah.
Because I've had so many times in my life where I've been looking for passion. I've been looking for purpose. Been like, if only I could find that. And now I have it. I have it. And it's so trippy to me. Why would I ever push that away now? It's one of those things I can work on endlessly, and it doesn't get old.
Yeah.
Because the more I'm working on it, like when you pulled up to the coffee shop today, like right before you pulled up, I was like cranking on it, and I was just laughing to myself. I was like, dude, this is unbelievably fire. I was like, dude, I can't wait to launch this. This is crazy as fuck. And it's like, dude, that feeling, bro, there's nothing like it.
No.
Finding that purpose, finding that passion. And again, it took me decades to figure out what that was. It took me my dark night of the soul, shitty depression, a bunch of not knowing, doing construction, food jobs, getting a job in ecosystem science to never use that degree. It took me all of this not knowing, uncertainty, and just fucking around to find out what my purpose actually is. And it's interesting, a few years ago, I actually had that recognition of like, I found it. This is it.
Yeah.
Thank fuck. It took me long enough. And I was like, because like, I've been floating through life for so long being like, if only I had a fucking purpose, what is worth doing here? Like, is it just about the money? Is it just about the status? Like, what, like, because for me, I like from birth, basically, I was like, if that's it, I'm good. Like, that seems like very shallow and hollow. So I was like, where is the purpose here?
Yeah.
Where's the meaning? Where's the depth? And I finally found that for myself. And I feel so honored, blessed to be given that duty. And it's like, I forget who said it, some poet, but he's like, we are burdened, but what we are basically pressed to birth. What we are actually being honored with the burden of birthing something beautiful, like the suffering that's given to an artist. Like, we are all given that. When we find our purpose, you can either like balls to the wall, go for it, make your dream a reality, or you can look away. But those voices, those demons will haunt us until we birth what needs to be birthed through us.
Or we just live with the demons.
And I'm good on that, bro. I'm good on that. I've had demons and I'm over it. Like, so
actually, you could just live with the demons.
What'd you say?
Actually.
But yeah, so I want to talk about purpose with you.
Yeah.
So it seems like you are also finding your purpose at this point in your life also, and you're at the ripe old age of 21.
21.
Literally, bro. So when I was 21, I was smoking weed at an Olympic level and had no goals. So I see you and I'm like, kind of like, damn, what the fuck are you gonna be when you're my age? Like, I'm 29 now.
A monster.
I mean, for real, bro.
Straight up.
Like, that's the thing. So I want to talk about your purpose, and then I want to talk about purpose in general. So Jeff, what is your purpose? What are you doing here?
Yeah, so this is it's a fire ass journal entry I wrote the other night. And it says here, to summarize, in short, being on your purpose is the holistic integration of all the dimensions of yourself. It's the ecosystem of your mental, spiritual, intuitive drives all evolving together. And when these aspects of the self are nurtured, they will come into alignment which is when you can experience a deeper level of richness to the one life that you get. So it's everything. It's the physical side of things. It's your relationship with yourself. It's your relationship with other people. It's your relationship with your time here, your experience here. It's everything, what you put into your body, the work that you choose to give to the world. It's not that these things are separate from each other. You know, you can work on one and neglect the other, and that's still alignment, because being on your purpose means recognizing that all of these parts of yourself are capable of being developed to the highest level, and choosing to focus on the one that you need the most, and being okay if you're letting some other things be neglected.
Totally. I mean, this makes me think of, I think it's like a Tony Robbins idea where there's, I think, like 8 sectors of self, of growth, where it's like you got to focus on the finances at one point, then you got to focus on like intimacy, friendships, family, then like spirituality, you know what I mean? But you can't really grow all those things at the same time in your life. So it's like there's points where, you know, let's just say, obviously, when I was on my 2-year spiritual voyage, like spirituality was at the forefront of my intention, my goals. It was where my soul was kind of leading me. And now I'm like, you know, as a psychotherapist, I'm like, I want to make more cake than this. Yeah. So 2026 is the year of the cake. And so now I'm focusing on finances and creating this thing that is, it's not just about finances. It's my purpose, my soul is begging me to create this thing, to birth it. And until I do that, again, there's this thing haunting me. Like, dog, we need something from you. That's what these voices say. Are you ready? Are you going to be the one, or are we going to find somebody else?
100%.
And that's the thing. For me, it's like the gods are looking for somebody to rise to the occasion. When I say gods, I mean these intrapsychic voices, feelings, these intuitions. Like they're asking something from you through things like anxiety or depression. For me, depression is directly linked to turning away from something, turning away from the will of the spirits of God, depending on your belief system. When you turn away, they're like, well, I guess we're not going to fill this dude with life force anymore. Because it's like, it's interesting. The more you follow your passion, the more you get invigorated with life, with eros, with desire for more. That I believe is like pothos, the unexhaustibility of desire for more. I want to pursue, I want to give, I want to, create more. And for me, this soul expression is everything. Like more so than the money, more so than the outcome. It's about getting this thing out of me. It's like, I mean, the image I'm getting right now is one of those fucking aliens in Aliens. It's like it's in my chest. And this motherfucker needs to burst. You know, it's kind of gruesome, but at the same time, it is like that. Yeah. Where it's like, until I get this thing out of me, I'm gonna be haunted. And being in the psychotherapeutic system and seeing this dominant paradigm, we have this view about, oh, that's anxiety. We'll just label it as anxiety. And you know what? Do you need a script, or do you want to talk about it? Let's get that anxiety out of here. What if we applied a very different lens to that same experience and didn't just reduce it to anxiety? And instead, we could say that very literally, the gods want something from you. Are you going to look away from that? Or you want some benzos? Because guess what? The gods are still going to want it. And it's like the more you look away, the more you stick your head in the dirt, the more the darkness is going to haunt you. Yeah. And it's like turning towards the light is turning towards duty, in my opinion. And when I hear you talking about purpose, I think it's inextricably woven with this concept of duty. This fact that if I don't feel like I have something on my shoulders, if I don't have a cross to bear, I'm just floating through life. Yeah. And I have no purpose. I have no meaning. I don't have like what am I even here for? And we all have different purposes, different duties. Yeah. And I think in order to understand the role of purpose and duty, let's just examine the life without purpose and duty. And I, for one, can say that I've been there. And I feel like it's like there's that anxiety of, where do I find something meaningful? I don't know. So I guess I'll just smoke weed until I can't feel anything. And I think that's a really common experience. So I'll numb out, or I'll jack off, or I'll drink, or I'll work something to escape this empty meaninglessness. And it's so universal in some people in the culture that I think we don't actually even talk about it because it's just the way that things are. It's like, what if we actually moved towards that meaninglessness? As dark as it actually is asking to be examined. Like, what is this meaninglessness? What is this emptiness I feel in life? What is this hollowness? Because the more we turn away, again, I feel like the darker it's going to get.
Yeah. 100%. And that's exactly it. That anxiety, it's always going to be telling you that, hey, this is your potential. This is what you're built for. And you know deep down what you're capable of. And you know what you need to do to fulfill that capacity. And I would call that ambition because not everyone has it. Not everyone has it.
Do you think not everyone has it, though?
I think as people grow older, it can get muddled down. And like their view of what they're capable of achieving gets watered down and is given quote unquote a reality check often.
I wonder about that because it's like this whole notion of like growing up, people settling down, settling for a set job, settling for a certain partner, and I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I really don't. But it's like working at, for instance, like an old folks home, and here, like, talking to my parents or hearing about other people's parents, it's like how much dissatisfaction and just coping and acceptance with mediocrity exists as we age.
Yeah.
And this notion of, well, I'm old now, I guess I'll just accept this dog shit. Like in a relationship, like I've talked to people on this podcast about, elderly folks that don't sleep in the same bed. They don't like each other. Why the fuck are they together? Literally, somebody tell me why. Or like a job that you hate. You just do it because I've been doing it for 20 years and what's on the other side? It's actually an invitation into groundlessness to leave that job, which is inherently scary. So I guess I'll just accept this. And I hope it doesn't sound like I'm talking shit because I really do think that spirit flows in different ways for everybody.
Yeah. And
for me, I have this gift and a curse, I think, which is this insatiability. I will never settle for less than my best. And guess what? My best is always changing. So guess what? I guess I'm never settling. Fuck. And that's a gift and a curse, right? Because that actually means I'm opening to and embracing suffering. That knowing that I could be better, my life could be better, that shit hurts because I'm not there right now.
Yeah. And
it's like, fuck, that means I have to keep striving, growing, being better. So there's pros and cons to that. But I think that really paradigm, that soul expression of wanting more, I don't think it's inherently wrong, obviously. It's what drives us to be better. And I think some people maybe settle in the other polarity, which is like, fuck it, I'm just going to accept life as it is. With a certain partner, with a certain lifestyle, with a certain belief system. And they kind of, from my perspective, and this might sound edgy, but like settling for mediocrity. And maybe it's not that. Maybe I'm just projecting. But that's what I see. And maybe I'm just projecting. I think there's a beauty in that. Just like there's pros and cons to either of these views. Like I'm okay torturing myself to see what the fuck I can do in this incarnation. At least at this point in my life. Who knows if that lasts forever. But some people, I think it's interesting when we stop the fight, we tap into something beautiful, which is the beauty, the perfection, the okayness, the inherent okayness of life and our experience right now. So I think maybe that's the beauty of that quote unquote more normal lifestyle. You know what I mean? Just stop the struggle and things become beautiful. And I don't think that there's a right and a wrong here. I think it's just about being honest about the pros and cons of pushing ourselves, to this unattainable vision, basically. And it is unattainable because once you attain all those things, there's something else in the future. It's like you're almost priming the mind to look for satisfaction in the future, which in a very trippy way doesn't really exist. But the outcome of that is A, suffering, but I'm also personally cool with that, and B, bettering yourself, refine it over and over again. Like sharpen steel with fucking diamonds, bro. You need something harder. I need something that pushes me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a beauty in that. And yeah, I don't know. I think for me, the question is there meaning or is there purpose in life? You know? And for me, the purpose is this infinite pursuit, never ending pursuit. And it reminds me of a Carl Jung quote, which is, I think it was Jung, some depth psychologist said, if our goals are attainable, the soul doesn't want it. The soul wants to strive forever. It doesn't want the finish line. It wants the journey. Yeah. It wants the striving. And I found that to be true, to be really deeply true. Like even in spirituality, we have this notion of awakening. And this exists in many different traditions, you know? Or the acceptance of Jesus Christ in Christianity, or moksha in Hinduism, nirvana in Buddhism. There's this notion of the end of the path. And for me, I don't actually, my soul doesn't like that. I'm like, I don't even want an end. Does that even exist? Or could the spiritual path be actually constructed? And we're walking on this path that we forget that we made. And then we come to an ending that also we made. It's like if your ending is the acceptance of the real ultimate acceptance of Jesus Christ, if the end of your path is the de-solidification of the world through an understanding of emptiness in Buddhism, that's a fabricated experience. That is an end to the path. And what I want is an infinite path. It's really true, and it's kind of tripping me out to say that, because I don't want it to end. I want a world where there is infinite progression. There's no end to this. Because how limiting does it feel in the body to say that there is actually an end to the path of spirituality, the path of even personal growth? Is there an end to the path of personal growth, self-development? And I'm asking you, is there an end to that?
Yeah. And I think depending on what you choose to recognize the end as is really powerful. Because for me, I've always had this idea that the end is death. You know, like maybe the spiritual path, there's more past death, and that's a different conversation for another time. But assuming that it's not known and it's not promised what it's going to be after death, that is like the ultimate jab to be like, yo, you get one life, dog. Yeah. As far as you know, you get one. You could have been any existence ever. You could have been a gas ion around the ring of Saturn. You could have been a whale. You could have been a horse. Yeah. Could have been a grain of sand stuck in somebody's shoe. But you were given this, not just a life, because you can be given a life and it can be fucked from the beginning.
Yeah.
What if you're given the life where you're also provided every single opportunity to succeed? Yeah. That is rare. And we see it as this is just our day to day. Oh, you know, I've got all these cool people in Boulder I can be connected with. Got this I can go pursue. Got this I can go pursue. Do I want to link with Shorty, or do I want to snowboard and work out today? Bro, do you understand how blessed we are to be like the top 0.1% of people that has access to create a life that they're proud of? And if you know you only get one of these, it's your responsibility to sink your teeth into it as deeply as you can, and be willing to experience every flavor, every emotion, every experience that the universe has to provide you. Because what's the alternative? Your worldview is this, when your worldview could be this. Right. And actually, this is infinite.
Yeah.
Your world can be infinite. Your worldview can be infinite, or it can be like these ideas that you're constructing that maybe you're choosing to settle for. And for me, I realized, dude, there's so many people out here that settle, but there's also so many people out here that choose to take charge and create a life that is actually exactly what they want it to be.
Totally.
And I have the opportunity to make that happen. Why would I not?
Yeah.
What am I going to do, bro? What am I going to do? Am I going to go back to college, go get some 4-year degree in finance, go hit the fucking, go work in a bank or some shit? Like, nah, dog. I was gifted this specific skill set to go kill it in the outdoor industry. And I feel that so deeply. What the fuck would I do to not, like, what would I be doing to not figure that out?
Yeah, bro.
And I have to pursue it. And it's something I can't even explain why I feel like I have to do it.
Right.
I just feel called by this invisible, silent voice that won't let up.
Yeah.
Day in and day out.
Yeah.
And being really productive some days doesn't quiet the voice either. Because I'm sure you've realized this when you're building your brand, you know, you go down like this rabbit hole and you're like, I could talk about this. And they all build off of each other.
Yeah.
You know, so that voice never being satisfied is also a gift because
totally, bro.
it means that you're giving yourself permission to create an infinite amount of value to the world.
Yeah. Dude, you just touched on so much. And first, I want to say this passion that I see in you, like the passion I see you speaking from, that's an indication that you found some purpose here. You found some soul. You found some direction. And again, that's a potent place to be. And you touched on this notion of, in Buddhism, they talk about this precious human birth. So in Buddhist cosmology, who knows if that's objective fact or not, they say that it's pretty rare to actually be born as a human being.
Yeah.
And it's a gift. Here in this human incarnation, we have so much potential. So much potential from the Buddhist view to realize enlightenment and the end of suffering. That's, you know, their take on it. We have this precious human birth. What are we doing with it? And the Buddha's spoken saying, day by day life goes on. What have you done to realize the end of suffering? What have you done to realize the voidness of the physical world? Because you could if you wanted to, but have you? So, and we can apply that to anything that our soul seeks. Is day by day life goes on. What have we done to fulfill the wish of the gods? And I say that term always so loosely. The intrapsychic gods, the culturally conditioned gods, the gods that want something from you. They want you to push yourself. And I think this whole theme is focused on listening to those voices. And again, their voices, their feelings, it's anxiety, it could be depression, but it's something is communicating to you through you, in your mind, in your body. And we can say it's my psyche. That's what psychology would say. It's me. It's the personal individual self. But also it could be something beyond us. Why would we reduce it to this thing called me, which actually, when you pay close attention, doesn't even exist? Whose desires are these? And when I frame it like that, the question is, who would I be to reject those desires? Who the fuck do you think that you are? Yeah, big little man gonna resist the desire, the will of God. Yeah. It's it seems so interesting from that framework too. And it's our duty. From my framework, it feels like my duty to listen to these voices. It's like, yeah, if you smoke a bowl instead of work on your brand, it's gonna feel like dog shit. Because you're turning away from the will of something bigger than yourself. Because it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than what I even make. It's hard. Again, it's hard to speak to. Yeah. But there's these knowings. And again, it's feelings in the body. Where in the West, we live predominantly in the conceptual mind. This mentally created world of self, other, right, wrong, worldviews, all of it. It's all mental. And it's like, listen to your body and the wisdom in that. And you already know where you're going to go. James Hillman, depth psychologist, has this theory he calls the acorn theory, where within the acorn, there's already actually a massive, 100-year-old oak tree in that tiny little acorn. So in us, from birth, there's already the fulfillment of our soul. And the choice is, are you going to listen? Am I going to listen to these voices that want something from me? Or am I going to numb it out and turn away? And that's everyone's choice. That's everyone's choice. But I really see this, especially in the times that we're living in, as necessary. Because we all have gifts innately in our design, and what they are is up for us to really create and discover in a really interesting way, actually. But we get to create and discover our soul every day. Am I the dude who's going to sign up for that ultra marathon? Am I him or am I not? And there's no right and wrong ultimately, but yeah, who are you? And what I come to is this knowing that I want to live a myth. And this comes from the recognition that we are all actually living a myth, whether we know it or not, whether our myth is, heroic, godlike. Some people live those myths, literally. Some people live the myth of, I'm just a normal human being. That's also a myth. And that myth has a certain impact, where maybe the acceptance of, mediocrity is kind of an unkind word, but the acceptance of just acceptance, utter acceptance of, this is enough. People live by that and they have no problem with that. Why? Because the myth that they're living allows for that. The myth that I'm living will never settle for that. And this is, again, there's no right and wrong here. It's about recognizing these are all myths. And that's what I want to teach, is just this recognition of how it's always been.
Yeah.
There's always been these images operating, these myths that we're living by and within. And they inform what we are. And this touches on this notion of conditioning also, where what we are and the myths that we're living into are actually a result of data that we've consumed. So this is movies, this is books, this is music, these are snowboarders, whatever they are. You see these images and parts of you, especially when you're young, really resonate, and you're like, I want to be that. And boom, all of a sudden the psyche latches onto that image and you start to become that. You know what I mean? So recognizing that's how it's operating. And I'm so curious what happens in our culture when we have images like shitty reality TV and just dog shit TikTok. Like, what happened to the prolific myths in ancient traditions, like the Hindu pantheon of gods, the Greek gods, Hercules, these oral traditions that were beautiful, strong, poetic. We don't have that in the secular culture anymore.
No.
So people feel lost. Where is it? Where are the myths that we can hold on to? Who do I channel? What do I channel? Is it just Jersey Shore bullshit?
Well, here's the thing, dude. It's those myths never went away. They've just shifted. And if we want to go down this rabbit hole of talking about, the role that media and all of the in-your-face advertisement has on us now, what if we're taking a step back and just kind of observing a group of humans in the US, what are most of them being sold? What are they being sold? Because it's damn sure not fulfillment. They're damn sure not selling us fulfillment day in and day out on the TV, on the news, on the radio. It almost seems like they're trying to sell us some sort of fear in one way or another.
I've always said that. It's like you see like the makeup companies and like, bro, let's just look at makeup.
Yeah.
Like, you can only sell makeup when you're convincing girls that they look like shit.
That they're not beautiful,
it's like, bro, so fucked.
Yeah.
So fucked. So evil. What world does that condition within, especially young girls?
They think everything's superficial.
Total. Dude, I remember there's this study, I think it was in the island of Fiji, I want to say, where they got TVs in this like really remote island nation. And within months, it was like 40% of the population was bulimic or something. Because they have these images of what beauty is and what beauty is not.
Yeah.
And they don't have these culturally sanctioned, again, invocations of different images of beauty. So all of a sudden they have these Western images and they're like, oh, beauty is skinny. Beauty wears makeup. Interesting. We've conditioned the mind in a different way where now girls are like killing their own bodies in order to fit this mold. Bro, dark. You know what would make you better? A fucking Lexus, loser. You know what I mean, bro? It's like, that'll sell shit. It was like, fuck, I am a loser. God.
Yeah, bro.
And it's like, not objectively are you a loser. If you buy that conditioning, if you buy that story, it's true.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy the bullshit that's being shoved down our throats. And that's what really changed me. Where I was like, okay, everyone wants me to fit this mold. I'll have the money, I'll have the nice house, and I'll have maybe a good-looking wife. And then, am I going to be happy? Like, literally, like, that was the question I asked myself. I was like, is this really going to be enough?
Yeah.
And for me, I saw at a young age, I was like, who the fuck cares? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that what I want? We're being, again, bombarded by this media, by buy my shit or else, loser.
Yeah.
Like all the time. And it's like, what's the impact on the human psyche like that? And it conditions us into this very narrow actually a worldview of consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
Look at like Gucci, Prada, designer, everything, like stupid expensive cars. Conspicuous consumption is what it's called. I'm buying shit just to flex.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, let's just put it like this. It's a certain race people are running in. And we need in that race, we need losers in order for there to be winners.
Yeah.
So the hella rich people that are like, look at all these broke fucks, losers. It's like we need those people that are like, damn, I wish I was rich. Fuck. In order for there to be winners in this dualistic game, there has to be losers. And what I found is you can actually just stop running in this game and be like, I don't give a fuck what you have, bro. I don't want it. Have fun. Like literally. And I was talking to my friend Shayna about this, where she would talk about like billionaires trying to fly her out on the yachts, and she's like, I've done shit like that, and it's like not it.
Mm-hmm.
It's shallow. And I'm like, I could have told you that, to be honest. Like, but like, it's interesting to see somebody with access to that to recognize it's like soulless, it's shallow, it's empty, it doesn't have the breadth of spirit, depth. And that's the thing for me, and that's the thing I think that sages throughout the ages have recognized, which material power and spiritual power are very different things. So material power is hella cake. Everyone wishes they were me. I got the yachts, I got the bad bitches, Dan Bilzerian type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So that's material power. Very limited, in my opinion, very shallow actually. And then there's spiritual power, which is, you know, Christ consciousness. What's the value of Christ consciousness? How much would you pay for Christ consciousness? Right. So right. Then there's exactly priceless.
You can't put a dollar on it.
You can't put a dollar on it. It's complete and utter freedom, transcendence of the material. The fact that you've built these, in a sense, using like psychotherapeutic language, you've built boundaries against your conditioning, which has been conditioning us forever. Even in the time of Christ, there was cultural conditioning about what is real and what is not. What is valuable and what is not. And to find those people like, you know, the Buddha or Christ or Ramana Maharshi, like real human beings that were actually like, I don't want it. I don't want it. This can't be it. And for them to then find something that is so profoundly powerful, you know, outside of the material, where they don't even give a shit. Like Ramana Maharshi is one of his story is profound. So he's an Indian saint, I think in the 20th century. And he had this crazy awakening experience where I think his dad died, and then he was like ruminating on what is death. And he was just working himself into this crazy panic basically. And then he broke. Mm-hmm. Similar to how like Eckhart Tolle broke, due to stress, due to suffering, broke open. And he had this realization that life and death are not actually different in a sense. He had this really deep awakening about, in my mind, the fluidity of something like death. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden he's good. He was like so at that point enlightened, his whole being broke open to something profound, where he was like, I think chilling in like an old temple, and he was just, bugs were eating him, like things were nibbling on his body, and like someone found this little, I think he was like in his teens. Someone's like, are you okay? And they started talking to this person. They recognized, oh, this is not a normal human being. They found something profound. Mm-hmm. They literally don't care if they live or die. That degree of peace, that degree of transcendence. And then basically people just accumulated around this guy, and they built like temples to him in Arunachala in India. And he's like one of the most profound non-dual teachers, of our time. And that's the thing. What did he find? Something so profound that money was irrelevant, that his own physical body was irrelevant. That's accessible to us as human beings. And this brings me back to this precious human life. What do we want? I think it's an old German proverb, which is, you tell me what you want and I'll tell you who you are. And it's really true. What do we want? Is it just the material? Great, then I'll tell you who you are. Is it something transcendent? Is it something spiritual? Great, I'll tell you who you are. And it's like, I think that's such a deep question to ask, which is, what do you want? And I think that's actually an infinite question to ask. I don't think, for me, because I ask that question to myself regularly, and I can come up with answers, but nothing that feels ultimately satisfactory. It's always changing and always like it could never be perfect. I could never answer it fully, you know?
And I don't think you would want it to be perfect. And I don't think you would want to be able to answer it fully either.
Yeah.
Because if you were like able to recognize your capped true potential for your time here on earth as a human being, then it's like it's already hashed out. It's already done. You already know what's written in the stars, bro.
Yeah,
You're like, fuck
right,
it, dog.
right.
Like, if I'm going to go through life and then at the end of it, I'm going to have, you know, tons of millions of dollars, all these bad bitches, but like also hella spiritual. Like, sure, bro. Like, cool, dog.
Yeah.
I don't really necessarily want to know that because I love the process so much.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
to be honest, and I think I've told you this before, I don't really give a fuck if going into the outdoor industry full time works out or not, bro. Because what's the worst case scenario? I rode every single line I wanted to my entire life. I fucking climbed whatever mountain I wanted to. All right, sick, bro. Let's say everything fails and I just like end up some broke bum giving myself a flu shot on Goose Creek Path. Sick, bro. I ran it up though before that. Damn right. Or what's more likely to happen? It actually all comes to fruition and I'm him.
Yeah.
Either way, bro, I don't lose.
Bro, I've determined determining that you're him is a mindset.
It has
It's
to be.
true, bro. You can have hella money and not be him.
Straight up, bro.
You
Look
can
at Bill
have no
Gates.
money and yeah, Bill Gates ain't him, dog. Let's put it like that. That's hilarious. But being him is a mindset, bro.
It is.
And it's interesting. It's one of those things when you decide you're him, you actually like start to manifest a life where you are him.
Mhm.
And you can back it up because you determined that you're him. You know, I mean, I can say that about my own life.
Yeah.
You just make a choice internally about the person you want to be, recognizing I am high value. I know I'm dope. I know I'm smart. Okay, cool. All of a sudden, life like seems to like actually mirror that to you.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, if you say so.
So to this is something I've been touching on too, is yeah, we can say we're him. What does it take for us to actually believe it? And I think you would say
Totally.
it doesn't take anything for you to believe it.
Depends on the person, right?
Yeah. And I think it has to take something to believe it because identity is based off of habits that you engage in daily. What you engage in and day out, you're constantly telling yourself, I do X, Y, and Z. I am X, Y, and Z, you know, whatever. But also I think identity is shaped through conviction and they play off of each other. Because if you're constantly engaging in some bullshit and you're telling yourself that you're him
and you're just faking it.
Yeah, bro.
Well, 'cause-
like, that fucking sucks.
Well, let's just put it
dog.
like I think you're right. I think there's more nuance in this because I think
Yeah.
for me it's like the power is deciding I'm him, and then when I have and this is a hilarious fucking like metaphor that we're using, but yeah, when you decide you're him or her, whatever, that's where it's not that I can decide that I'm him and just give up.
Yeah.
And still be him. You decide you're him, and now I'm the motherfucker that pushes himself. I'm the motherfucker that performs in the gym, that takes chances in my business, takes chances in my life, because I'm him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not him, and then I play video games and beat off all day, bro. That's not him. And that's the thing. You have to recognize that. You can't just have that story where I'm him, and then you just beat off and play video games.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, bro, that's not him.
You have to have, and this goes back to what alignment is. You have to have habits that you're engaging in that are in alignment with what your higher self wants to be. And I think it's really easy to not do that because it's just so easy to chill. So easy to get
For
into,
some people.
yeah.
Not when you got demons haunting you, dog.
Exactly, bro.
Not when you decide you're going to be great. When you
Mhm.
decide, when you make that choice, I'm destined for greatness, the demons show up. And actually, for me, you pay close attention to them, they're not demons. They're angels. And I mean that. Like, they're like these voices that are like, hey, buddy, I know you can do better. Are you sure you're done?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're done? Are you sure that's it? Keep going, keep going, keep going. And at first, it's like, fuck, this hurts. And it's like a good fucking coach, bro.
Yeah.
They see that potential in you, and they don't want you to settle. They want to keep pushing you. Even if you're the best player on the team, they're going to keep pushing you.
Because you have the capacity to do it.
Exactly.
And that's what you
That's
need to
love, baby.
And yes, exactly, bro. And the second that you recognize that you have the capacity to be infinitely better than what you are is the moment that you want it. When you realize that it's not fictional, it's not a myth, it's not impossible, it's not out of reach for you to achieve your fullest potential. For me, it was like the moment I realized I could just pursue it. It wasn't some like Oh, I figured it out. It was just like probably chilling outside walking one day.
Mhm.
And I was just like, yo, if I want to go down this path in life, I can do it. If I want to go down this path in life, I can do it. And actually, I can just choose. I can choose what path I want to go. And I don't think it has to be any more, broken down or profound than that. It's just like, yo, I'm an autonomous human being.
What do I want? And it comes back to that question, which is inherently groundless, because no one can tell you what you want. Or I will say some people, let's just say, just go for the culturally conditioned values, culturally conditioned things that we want. I want the money. I want the security. I want the white picket fence, that kind of image for what we want. And that's given to us. And I think a big part of spiritual awakening is coming back to our subjective, like, quote unquote, soul. What does that want?
Yeah.
Instead of what does the culture want from me? What do I want out of this one precious human life? And that's, again, a difficult thing to answer, actually. And again, I will say almost impossible thing to answer. It's the pursuit of an answer that is worthwhile.
Yeah.
Because if you find that thing to stand on where it's like, okay, I just want X, Y, Z, then I'm good. When you get there and you're good, you'll find actually darkness. It's interesting. They talk about like people that win the Super Bowl or people that win like Mr. Olympia. Like they have this goal their whole life to win Mr. Olympia, and then they win it, and it's like, now what?
Yeah.
I reached my goal. Fuck. And you enter into, again, groundlessness, because now what? What do you want? Oh, shit. And that's where, for me, that groundlessness is so potent, because that's where something beyond you can actually take the wheel.
Yeah, bro.
You need that groundlessness to actually find something new. It's infinite potential. You know what I mean? So again, something beyond ourselves can take the wheel and start to form your life, form your vision for what you want for yourself. And it's cool just to notice that happens, really, where we step into groundlessness, into not knowing, what do I want? I don't know. There's so much that I want. Do I want the money? Do I want the power? Do I want the fame? And I will say there's nothing wrong with any of it. It's more about just being sure. Are you sure you want that? Is that all you want? Or do you want it all? What does that mean? What is all of it? And it's like, there's so much going on. Because for me, I want the money. I want the security. I want that. Duh. It makes for a good life. But I don't only want that. Let's just say if I only want that, it leads to a limited life. It leads to a shallow life. Being stuck in this materialistic frame of value and purpose and success, really. What is success? And I then think that for me, the middle way is between the extremes. This is what the Buddha taught. A whole, path of Buddhism is wrapped around this notion of the middle way between extremes. So on certain really polarities, we have people that are stuck in the material, the infinite pursuit of material gain. And you see those people, and it's not hard to tell that it's sort of like a hellish, limited existence. And then on the other side, you have Christ. You have Buddha. You have saints and sages that let go of everything and find something profound beyond this world, beyond the material world, at least. And then you have everyone in between. And it's up to us to decide where we want to fall on that spectrum.
Yeah.
Do I want to fall for more materiality? Do I want to fall for more spirituality? Whatever, let's just say spirituality is a loose term, the way that I use it. Something beyond materiality. And again, where do we fall on that spectrum? And I will never say that there's a right and a wrong. It's just for us to be sure, for us to be certain about what my soul wants. If I want the Lambos, if I want the Ferraris and the yachts, if that's what your soul really wants, send it. Because who wants that? It's creation that wants those cocaine and stripper parties on the fucking yacht. Let it rip. But just be certain that's what you want. Or do you want, for me, it's like I've just tasted the beauty of service, and I can't look away from that anymore. I know how good that feels. I know how much of a release that is. I know how much beauty, freedom, and levity being of service gives. So that's something beyond what I would call just self-desire, and so ego as well as materiality. It's not about me. It could be about others. It could be about other beings. It could be about the whole world. It could also be about all of creation. How do I live in service to that? Recognizing, for me, when you give a little bit, like when you hold the door for somebody or even just smile at someone, you're like, that feels good. How do you think it feels to give your whole life? Give all your energy, your time, your whole life to something bigger than yourself. bro, I would assume pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people like Christ and Buddha found, actually. Like the Buddha, for instance, at first he was like, this whole emptiness bit that he discovered, he's like, that's going to be impossible to teach or really hard to teach. So he's like, I'm just going to chill in the woods. And then I think it was like a couple years, then someone was like, you have to teach this. And he's like, all right, fine. And he started teaching it. Why? Because at least in Mahayana Buddhism, they talk about the path of selfless service is actually a path into deeper freedom. Because I found as long as life is all about me, there's never enough. Never enough. And again, there's a beauty in that. And I don't want to actually say that that's wrong. I think there's a beauty in the expressions of self, the artistic expression of divinity that all of us are, and that our self-image is, and that these images and archetypes that we channel also, are and come from. So I think there's a beauty in that. But there's a deep freedom in letting go of that, recognizing there's no end to the desires of the ego. And if we want a deeper level of transcendence, actually live for the benefit of something other than yourself. And it reminds me of this quote, which kind of cracks me up, which is the reason that we suffer is because 99% of what everyone does is for themselves. And actually that self doesn't exist. So get fucked. Like it's kind of like that though. It's like it's all for me, and like wait, there's this kind of focal point where my life is revolving around this me, and we just take it for granted.
Yeah.
What is this me? Like, is it Ben the human? What is Ben the human? Is it so Benjamin Arthur Duffy? This thing, is it this body? Is it? So if I lose an arm, am I less Ben Duffy? No. So well, then it can't just be the body. Is it the mind? Well, the mind goes. Like, if I get Alzheimer's, whatever, then am I less Ben Duffy? What am I? So is it the mind? Is it the personality? What is Ben Duffy?
It's
like
all of it. I think it's your connection to source and recognizing that your essence is it. That is what Ben Duffy is. It's the essence of Ben Duffy.
Like,
it's not the body. It's not the mind. I've always had this idea in my head that if I took away, for instance, I took away your body and I took away your mind, what would the essence of Ben Duffy be?
So like an energy.
Yeah. What would I feel if I were to interact with that essence of Ben Duffy? What would I feel if I were to, interact with that essence of my roommate?
Totally.
Without them being a physical being. What would you feel interacting with that?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think that's what there's
an energetic signature. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting idea. So Buddhism and really non-duality, very spiritual traditions say the more that we look for the self, the more we can't find it as something solid. So I think that's interesting. And it reminds me of sort of like in a dream. Like you can't really, at least I can't really see people clearly. It's more of like I feel them.
Mm-hmm.
I know who you are. Like, did I see your face clearly? Nah. But I know you're, my homie Elliot or whatever had a fucking weird dream with some fucking homies, but yeah, I know who they are without really seeing their face. Mm-hmm. So there's like an energetic signature there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what is that? Like, my question is, where did it come from? Was it there inherently, or was that energetic signature a product of experiences, conditions, cultural values, cultural conditioning? So is my spirit the accumulation of all of those experiences, or isn't that always changing based on the life that I live? Like if I got in a dramatic car accident, or all of a sudden I go blind, like something crazy, like that energy signature would shift dramatically. Mm-hmm. So is which one's actually been?
Okay, that's the energy signature in the moment based off of what you're experiencing. What if we were able to experience that energetic signature as all of it encompassed into one?
But do you see how what like my question is, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you say all of it, where does it end? Because like
it doesn't end.
But that's the thing. So we're embracing that like me, Ben Duffy, is actually everything.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. So wait, but do you see how that falls apart? We're saying like ego, which is inherently finite, it's limited, and the infinite are actually one thing. And this, I think this is where we're getting actually to really deep truths, because in various spiritual traditions, it seems like the deeper you get in these inquiries, the more you have to embrace paradox,
mm-hmm.
where it's like, how can this infinite limited being be also everything, infinite, deathless? How can we be both? And it's interesting if you pay close attention, you'll see the logical mind and actually the ego It wants to say it's this or that. I'm either infinite or I'm finite. I'm either God or I'm not. It's like that, both of those stories, any of that dualistic thinking is limited. When I'm saying I'm this and not that. I'm a human, not God. I'm God, I'm not a human. What if we were both, and then in an ultimate sense, also neither? Mm-hmm. Because again, we're embracing paradox. We're embracing all of the different experiences that can be constructed through mind, through narrative, through conditioning. And it's not just like overt conscious mind. It's the deep undercurrents that we can't even see of our conditioning, our conceptuality, the stories of our culture that have been building for thousands of years. Like, we're living those. Mm-hmm. And we don't recognize that they're stories. And that's the thing. That's the radicality with the Buddhist path, which is all things are empty of inherent existence, in the sense that they depend on your mind to construct and believe them. Life, senses of self, it does not exist from its own side. I like that way to frame it. It actually requires you to believe in it and to give it power. And yeah, I think there's a lot of freedom just in recognizing that. And then I think in this beautiful point in time here in 2025, where we see power structures falling away, we see the old stories that we've been living in fall away. And we're entering into that void of what's real. I don't know. Fake news everywhere. All these certain stories, narratives, beliefs. What's real? And I think we're in this time where we are choosing the next story we're going to live by. And based on my framework, if that story does not hold within it some sort of emptiness, some understanding of the voidness of all stories, we're falling for another trap again. Mm-hmm. As far as we're falling for another solidified belief system, which is a cage. And actually, then it's like that is what allows for like religious wars, genocides, the crusades. All of these things are like my belief system's right, yours is wrong. Solidified, it's dense and solid. And it's not fluid enough to allow for the organic movement of psyche, mm-hmm. of God to move through us to create different worlds in all of us. Because that's the thing, like in the Amazonian rainforest, their worldview was dramatically different than people in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, than people in Japan 2,000 years ago. So whose world is objectively real? Like it kind of honestly makes me laugh when people are like, I don't know. I don't want to be mean, but like, especially like dogmatic Christians are like, there's a one God. Have you accepted Christ yet? I'm like, wait, what about like all the people that existed on this planet before Christ? Like, were they just fucked from the start? Or like, what about them? What about all the people in, again, like the Amazonian rainforest, even today?
That don't know about Christ, bro.
Yeah, right.
They can't even conceptualize it.
What do you think that their worldview is like? And my question is, are they just living in the wrong world? Their world isn't actually real. Probably filled with probably something, I'm gonna guess, really animistic, where like the forest and the trees, the mountains, the rivers have spirits, like many animistic traditions, like native traditions in the Americas. So is their worldview wrong, or is it limited? Do you know what I'm saying? Right. So like we see the relativity in all of these views, and until we just recognize that, because it's like nothing's hidden. I'm not even teaching anything. It's just like it's like a recognition of like, oh, this is how things are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or maybe they are in the wrong world. Maybe, yep, there is a God, and it's a Christian God, and Jesus Christ is the man for eternity, for the rest of human time. And I'm just like, well, if you extrapolate human experience for 5,000 years, so let's just say 3,000 BC to now, that same duration of time into the future, what do you think our belief systems are going to be? Probably something radically different than they are right now. So are we living in a real world? How real is this one that we're in right now? Could it be all made up? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like this belief system that I think is the only belief system big enough to hold it all, has to be rooted in this understanding of void, emptiness, the fluidity of perception, where the world becomes transparent. Mm-hmm. Appearances and ultimate reality are now different. We fall for this trick, really, that the way that things appear is the ultimate state of things. And that's the trick. With that, we're not recognizing that we are co-creating how things appear through the story that we feed, the sense of self that we have.
And then the story that we create and the sense of self that we have tells us how we should feel about how we interact with the universe.
It's like a feedback loop.
Mm-hmm.
And because I interact with the universe in a certain way, it like reaffirms my views.
And then that's all you see. I mean, survivor's bias. Or not survivor's bias, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's confirmation bias.
Exactly.
Bias, exactly. Where your mind recognizes the data that confirms its own belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happening all the time. For instance, like Christians believe, oh, like, you know, something good happens to me. My prayers were answered by God. You know, some atheists would say, oh, it's random chance, or, oh, I've just been hustling. You know what I mean? Or I got blessed, whatever that means. But it's like there's different belief systems that invoke different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, what I'm so like excited about is simply the recognition of that. Like, it's nothing hidden. It's just these belief systems construct different worlds. And what's the implication of recognizing that? Oh, that there is no way that things are inherently. My mind is constructing it. Our minds are constructing it. We have consensus reality that we all sort of assume is objectively real. But let's just, again, poke that story, pay close attention to that, and ask the question, is this objectively real? And what happens if it's not?
Mm-hmm.
For me, like, for the ego, actually, annihilation and also existential liberation are actually the same thing. So ego annihilation is the embrace of emptiness.
Yeah.
And that means the ego never existed. It was all a figment of your imagination, and people run from that. Cultures run from that, from this fluidity of experience, which is the natural state of things. But in the annihilation of the ego, there is the introduction of existential liberation, recognizing, oh, that was a story. Mm-hmm. Fuck, who am I? I can say I'm God. I can say I'm actually beyond form. I'm beyond language. And at that point, who am I? And again, you get to pick. We get to play in the world of appearances without being caged within it. And it reminds me of what Christ said, which is to be in the world but not of it. I can be in this world and I can see it as appearance. I can play my role in the theater and recognize what I am is actually formless and empty. And that's okay. I don't need to be solid to have a really amazing experience. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I guess we ended up going pretty deep. We ended up eating some psilocybin, or at least I did. So interesting though. Interesting conversation. So this brings us back to purpose. All right, so anyways, we went fucking deep, bro. My man, sick conversation again.
As always.
As always, bro. Shit doesn't stop. I'm excited to see what you're going to be doing with yourself, with your fucking life, and what the demons, what the angels are pointing you towards.
Me too, dog.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's a hellscape I'm conquering because I'm like that, bro.
Because you decided you're him, bro.
I don't even know what to say exactly.
Because you made that choice. Mm-hmm. You made that choice. Proud of you, dog. And
thank you, man.
Yeah. So where can people find you? Where can they find your program that you're marketing now?
So I am only accepting 3 new clients for early access to my program. It's called Hardline Mountain Performance. You can reach out to me on Instagram at j.d.k__. And this isn't for everybody. This is for a very, very specific group of really, really hungry mountain athletes. So if that's fitting you, come reach out to me. And I really think I could change your whole damn life.
Sounds fucking sick, bro. I kind of want to sign up for that.
Sign up for it. You're exactly the kind of person I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, facts. Savages only. So, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Ben.
And thank you, Yuval. Thank you, fucking studio. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And we'll see you next time. This is episode 1 of 3 that we're recording today. So we're doing the back to back to back. So
doing the damn thing.
Yep. The angels want something, and we can't stop. So thank you guys for listening.